ready to go.
Okay, my tape's running.
Cut.
Mobile phone.
Cut.
Hold it.
Take 24.
Okay, anytime.
Okay, Jimmy.
What's happened to the makeup, big man?
Yeah, hey.
I think it's ready. We'll start with you. How different do you think things are since you were playing here at Celtic?
Well, totally. I mean, when you look and you listen to the players, you listen to the man here, and I've been in, I've privileged to come round about it quite a bit. Inside, the whole thing has changed, dramatically. We used to talk about getting your fitness or whatever, and how you looked after yourself. But I think Henrik will agree with me here. There's an awful lot goes into it now regarding your diet. It's whether, I don't know, he can the only one that'll answer that, whether he thinks it'll work or not. I know I like a good hamburger, buddy. A good McDonald's or something, or a pizza. Yeah. But they're all into this, they're all looking after the body, the upper body or whatever. But to me, basically, I think always did was you've got to work with a ball all the time, regardless of what you're doing, how you're looking after yourself, whatever way you're dieting. But if you get the ball and you work in that, you can't go wrong. And that's what I keep telling young boys anytime that they say to me, how was it, and how did it happen for you? I say, just work, hard work. But really, all we ever got, we used to start the first day's training here at Celtic Park in the Johnstone era, and as soon as you went out, you had a ball. That was the first day of training. A lot of people think that might be, but he was a great believer in that, and it worked. It does.
Do you feel that there's too much emphasis, Henrik, putting things like, diet and nutrition and things like that, and less ball work?
I don't know. I'm not a diet man myself. I like my hamburgers as well and things like that. But I think it's very important to get the utmost of yourself and from the whole team point of view, like getting all the right stuff. All those things can help you if you really believe in it. Like we have. Irene doing all the diets for the players, and if anybody is thinking that that's going to help the game, I think it's going to help the game as well. But I think my belief is that as long as you eat and what yourself find is good and just enjoy life, I think it's going to help you a lot.
We spoke briefly about how things are at the moment, Henrik, here at Celtic, but did you know much about the club? Guys like Jimmy Johnstone before you arrived?
To be honest, I didn't know that much about Celtic when I arrived. As you know, I played for Feyenoord before, and the only thing I knew then was that Feyenoord beat Celtic in the cup final. Thanks. And that's the way it is when you come to one new club. They're gonna tell you the best stories of the club in the history, of course. But once you came here and you realize which big club this is and all the talented players. I've been seeing some old films about Celtic, and you've seen Jimmy Johnstone, black white, of course. You couldn't see the colours, and of Jimmy here and John and the Lisbon Lions, of course. And it's nice to know and to see, because it's very important. The club has a good history.
I think that as well. I think that he's blended in tremendously. A lot of people come, they're coming to a strange country, they're coming to different, and I think he's fit and absolutely brilliant. As far as the fans are concerned, I just think, good players I think don't need to look at papers and don't need to do this or that and the next thing. You've got that bit of confidence, self-confidence, and it's not big-headedness. And I think he's blended in with this, and I've seen him here tonight operating, and you can see there's a lot of sincerity there. And I think he does, and maybe not saying it, but it will grow on him. And it'd be difficult, I would think, for say him, especially the rapport and the way that he's built up with the fans to leave it. I think it'd be a hell of a wrench for him, now, because they love him. And quite rightly so, because he's came here, as I said, with all these difficulties. He's done a great job. I think that's just doing to the guy,
Thank you. How much do you want?
I've got it.
How did the Lisbon Lions get on against the current Celtic side, all things beneath?
The new. When we're 45 and 50,
no.
we give them a good game. It's difficult, really, to be honest. But I think that when you look through that team, you had so much ability that they would compete in any league at all, doesn't matter what, because there was not only the ability, but they had enough of great belief in themselves. A lot of people used to talk about Jock, about he was a tactician, he did this and that and the next thing, but really the big man used to play the mind games, and see if there was something bothering you, he would make sure before you went over that line that he'd solved it for you. And each and every one of us individually, he did something personally, away from it, whether it might be this, that or the next. Myself, it was always the police. But anything domestic or whatever, as long as your mind was clear, and which is important, then he would get it. He would solve it for you. And that, to me, he was a man's man, and that's to me made him more than anything other that he did tactically or whatever. He just knew if, where to touch, the things to touch, and you yourself. And even just like, say for instance, your opponents, he would maybe shift it around a bit because he knew you would get more out of playing here, or Bertie would get more out playing there. Simple things, But always says to you when you went out, look, yous are the best, And it wasn't big headedness. It was just truth, and it was just belief in yourself. And I think that come through because we used to come out there and maybe as I say, in the mind games, the other teams were coming in and they had to go by our dressing room, the home dressing room, to get down to their dressing room. And we'd be standing in the corridor waiting on them coming in, and they seen them. You say, how you doing, lads? Everything's fine, and the colour drained for them, So again, he says, that's a goal up. That's usually a goal to a starter, he says. Look at them, he says, they're shattered. And it was true. But all these wee things,
You think the style of football's changed, Henrik? We've seen some clips tonight of the team that beat Rangers 7-1 in the 50s, and we saw a bit of the Lisbon Lions win the European Cup. You think it's less frantic now?
Frantic, what's that?
Really quick, really urgent,
Now? If it's less now than then?
Yeah.
I think the game has been developing during the years. I think the game is much quicker than it was back then. That's what I seen anyway. I mean, of course, there's a lot of players who could be playing maybe in this time, but they were unlucky. They were born in the wrong year, so to speak. I mean, I think with his skill, I think it would be terrific to play in this year's now. I mean, if you look like
you'd have scored 100 goals by now.
No, but I mean, if you look like a player like Pele, I think he would be great in this era as well. But it's always going to be hard to compare those different eras because it's so much different and so much things that's been happening. So it's almost impossible to compare that.
Finally, Jimmy, as Henrik would surely admit, this is a team game and it always has been, just like it was a team game when you were here. Do you think it's unfair to the rest of the lads to say that because Henrik's out injured, that's the Celtic's a one-man team?
No, because I think it's perfectly true. It is. He meant a hell of a lot to him, and it's seen that, and especially when we won the league, I thought that was one of the best seasons that a lot of the players had, and I think it was just because of the linking. The man and the runs that he was making, and it does. You want to talk about. You just mentioned a player there. How many times have the players said it about Pele? I mean, he made, when he was at the presence there, I would think that he was half a team, really. Just be being there. No, I think it wouldn't be unfair, for to say that they are really, really missing him. And it's not unfair to the players.
I wouldn't agree about that. I mean,
don't get me wrong. I think the players are given. They give their 100%. They do. But Henrik, honest to God, buddy, that wee niche, that wee thing, and we've been watching it, and I think the people here will hang me. It's just missing a wee bit. No disrespect to the players that are there now. They give their best 100%. But you made it kind of happen for them, and I'm not. I don't need. I've told you before. Get your big head up about it. But definitely that is missing, and you can see it. You ask the supporters out there, they'll tell you.
You don't agree, Henrik?
No, I mean, I don't agree because, as I always say, it's a team sport. I mean, if one goes out, it's always going to be possible to replace him, and I think that always has to happen. And,
that's his opinion. I'm telling you, it's no.
No, but I think that
I just wish him everything's all right with him, and it's a speedy recovery for him.
Thank you very much. But I think that we have a good chance now. I mean, there's some other troubles happen on the other side of Glasgow as well. So I think and hope that we can do it this year.